In a quiet forest, high up in a tall oak tree, lived a little green leaf named Pip. He was young, bright, and full of curiosity. As the days grew shorter and the air turned crisp, the other leaves turned golden and brown. One by one, they danced in the wind and gently let go. But not Pip. "I'm not ready," he said. "What if I fall and forget who I am? What if no one notices me down there?" The wind blew softly. "It's okay to let go," it whispered. "It's part of the journey." Still, Pip clung tighter to his branch. He watched friends twirl and glide toward the ground. Some landed in puddles, others in piles of laughter beneath playing children. Then, one morning, Pip saw something new. Buds. Tiny green buds were sprouting on the branch beside him. He blinked. "New leaves?" he asked. "Yes," the tree said kindly. "Your turn is ending, but their story is just beginning. And your fall will make room for their spring." Pip thought for a long moment. Then, with a deep breath and a brave little wiggle, he let go. He spun, twirled, and floated gently to the forest floor, where he joined a soft, colorful blanket of leaves, each with their own story. And up above, the tiniest bud opened, reaching for the sun.
Once upon a time, in a kingdom that only appeared at night, there lived a young princess named Leora. She had hair like moonlight and a laugh that made flowers bloom, even in the dark. Every evening, when the stars came out, her kingdom would rise from the mist. But there was one rule: if the starlight crown atop the castle ever lost its glow, the kingdom would disappear forever. One night, the crown dimmed. The stars flickered nervously. "The magic is fading," whispered the royal owls. Princess Leora was brave and kind. "Then I will find the last light," she said. With her fox friend, Fen, she ventured into the forest of forgotten wishes. There, she met a grumpy star named Micah, stuck in a tree. "I fell during a storm," said Micah, "and no one came to find me." "But I did," smiled Leora. "You still shine." She carried Micah all the way back to the castle tower. As soon as the star touched the crown, it burst into radiant silver light. The sky sang. The stars danced. And the kingdom glowed brighter than ever. That night, as she curled up in
The Princess and the Magical Talking Cat. Once upon a time, in a kingdom full of lavender fields and singing fountains, there lived a clever young princess named Ivy. She had read every book in the royal library twice and could solve any riddle before breakfast. But nothing had ever surprised her quite like the day she met a talking cat. The cat had soft black fur, bright green eyes, and a rather royal way of sitting on the palace wall. "Good morning, Princess," he said with a flick of his tail. Princess Ivy blinked. Did you just talk?" "Of course I did," said the cat. "I'm actually a prince. Long story, magical accident, old spell, you know the type." Intrigued and delighted, Ivy invited the cat into the castle. Together, they searched the dusty corners of the library for the ancient spell book that could break the enchantment. At last, hidden behind a shelf of cookbooks, they found it, the book of mostly forgotten magic. With a whisper and a swirl of light, Ivy read the spell aloud. The cat began to glow, and poof, in his place stood a young prince with tousled hair, regal robes, and the same mischievous green eyes. He bowed deeply. "Thank you, Princess. But, may I be honest?" "Of course," Ivy said. "I miss having whiskers. And naps in the sun. And scratching behind my ears without anyone judging me." Ivy laughed. "Then perhaps you don't need to be a prince to be happy." The prince smiled, picked up the book, and flipped to another spell. With a flash and a meow, he was a cat again, this time with a tiny golden crown perched between his ears. From that day on, the talking cat became Ivy's most trusted friend. He sat beside her at royal meetings, snuck treats from the kitchen, and
Long ago, beyond the castle walls and over rolling hills, there lay an enchanted grove known only in quiet songs, the Forest of Whispers. The wind there never howled, it whispered. And if you truly listened, you would hear the trees speak. Princess Talia, known throughout the kingdom for her curious heart and gentle spirit, had heard the legends. While others dismissed them as bedtime tales, she believed in them with all her heart. One golden morning, with a satchel of bread, a notebook, and a lantern of soft light, Talia slipped away into the forest. As she stepped under the emerald canopy, a hush fell over the woods. The sunlight dappled the ground, and the trees creaked, not with age, but with stories. Then, the whispers began. A low, warm voice rustled through the leaves. Once, a baker gave his last loaf to a hungry child. Another tree bent slightly toward her. A knight once laid down his sword to build homes instead of destroy them. A grandmother shared her warmest blanket on the coldest night. A child gave a songbird a home when the sky turned gray. Everywhere Talia walked, stories bloomed like wildflowers in her ears, tales of kindness, courage, and forgotten love. She sat beneath each tree, listening, learning, and writing them down with care. When she returned to the kingdom days later, people thought she would speak of magic or treasure. Instead, she gathered the villagers and began to tell the stories the trees had shared. She told them of gentle heroes, quiet bravery, and acts so small they might have gone unnoticed, if not for the forest. Word of Talia's tale spread far and wide. She became known not just as a princess, but as the Princess of Memory, the one who remembered, who honored, and who gave life to the stories of the kind-hearted. And the forest?
Once upon a time, high above the earth in a fluffy white cloud, lived a curious little raindrop named Rhea. Rhea loved listening to stories from older raindrops about the world below the mountains, rivers, forests, and oceans. But Rhea was scared. "I don't want to fall," she said. "What if I never come back? What if I get lost?" The older drops just smiled. "Falling isn't the end," said one kindly drop. "It's just the beginning of something wonderful." One breezy morning, the cloud rumbled and shook. It was time. One by one, the raindrops began their descent to earth. Rhea trembled, but a soft breeze whispered, "Be brave, little one." And so, with a deep breath, Rhea let go. She fell through the sky, spinning and giggling, until plop, she landed gently on a bright green leaf. The leaf welcomed her with a sparkle. From there, Rhea slid into a stream. She flowed past stones, under bridges, and through meadows filled with dancing flowers. She met fish, frogs, and even a family of ducks. "This is amazing," she laughed. Eventually, the stream led Rhea to a great wide river, and then, at last, to the endless ocean. Rhea marveled at its size. "Will I stay here forever?" she wondered. But the sun had other plans. It shone gently on Rhea, lifting her back into the sky as warm mist. Up and up she floated, back into the clouds where her journey began. I'm home, Rhea cheered. The old raindrop smiled. See, you were never lost. Every drop has a journey, and every journey has a purpose. Sometimes we're scared to let go or try something new. But just like Rhea, we all have a journey to take, and it's filled with beauty, wonder, and the chance to grow.